Oh yes, that's right. It's true. Good morning. Happy Sunday. It is I, your host, Pogo Kiddo, with another soothing, enlightening episode of Redstone Lapis Lazuli. Hello, hey, good morning. Yeah, what's up? Happy Sunday. So here I am at home, where I haven't left for a long time. Yeah, now I'm here. In Minecraft, I'm in my mine. Hey, diamonds. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger. I've done a little bit of digging, a little bit of excavation, if you will. So, I don't know, if you've been following along, ooh, it's raining outside. If you've been following along, then you've seen this cave transform from a tiny little nothing to like this giant space. Look at this, with jerks hanging out. What are you doing in here, jerk? Are you protesting the stay-at-home thing? Are you trying to spread disease? I bet you are, disease spreader. So yeah, hey, okay. Alright, let me stick a freaking torch there. Okay, like, no spawning in here. No spawn in my house. Okay. So yeah. So what have I been doing in Minecraft? A few things, just a little bit, not a whole lot. Really not a whole lot, because I don't know. Let me show you what I've been doing. All right. So I've already set up the mine system to deposit the stuff up there, and then put it in my item sorter. And then over here, the Navy Nexus gold farm is fantabulous. And that's just working great. That just works fantastic. Right there, I picked up an old video from Skippy6 to remake that furnace over here instead of way over there. So I still have to make a 0-tick bamboo farm so I can feed in fuel. Right now I have to use coal. That's no good. But I'll fix that later. And then this ugly thing is eventually going to become a creeper tower, a creeper spawner. So the way it works is that each layer is built like this, and that over there. And a cat sits in a corner. So when a creeper, and it's dark, normally it'd be dark. Like this would be, yeah, it'd be dark. Then a creeper would spawn in, and because of these slabs up here, or these trapdoors, only creepers can spawn in here. So they spawn in here, they see the cat, they say, "No, scary kitty," and they run away. And they think this is a solid block, this trapdoor, but it's a trap, and they fall down into the water. Oh, psh. And then from there, they slowly make their way, no choice but to end toward the lava that will consume them and burn them and transform them into gunpowder, which is what I need. But I am not a creeper, so I'm not going there. But you see there's a string in here, which tells me a spider spawned somewhere, and that is not good because we don't want any other mobs taking up the mob cap except for creepers. But yeah, I'm still working on it. I need to get... This is my 5th cat. That's my 5th cat. Hi, kitty. Oh, it's got 2 different color eyes. Neat. So that's my 5th cat. And because of that, I think all 5 of these cats got hooked up to this village here. Because this village stopped spawning cats. That means no more kitties die in the lava anymore. And which means I get no more string too, but that's okay. I can handle that. So yeah, so that means I have to go make another village somewhere else and steal kitties from there. I don't steal them, I liberate them. I liberate the kitties! Yeah, let's liberate kitties. That means get them back to work, right? Stupid Nazis. Okay, and what else was I working on? I made this thing here. And so yeah, it's just the same thing, right? It's just closer to the Earth. So I don't have to look so silly trying to access everything. It's all within reach now. Before I made it up in the air and I was all lame about it. And all these furnaces are in one chunk, so it shouldn't break if I leave. Okay. Let's see. What else did I want to show you? Hop in. This ugly building. I gotta fix that. Ooh, a lot of cows. Probably should get more. More cows. Ooh, I have wheat. Okay, here. So Donald Trump put out tweets telling people to go liberate their states. What does that mean? To liberate a state, liberate Virginia. Oh, there's a kitty. See? I need fish. I need fish to tame the kitty. But all my fish is cooked, and they don't eat cooked fish. I would use a fishing rod to go fishing. To fish. For more fish. For the kitties. Donald Trump told his people to liberate the states in which they live. What does that mean? Well, in general terms, you liberate something that is illiberal, like that, that doesn't have liberty. So Donald Trump is telling the people to liberate the states that they live in, implying that the states in which they live are not free, and they have to be rescued. Wow, that's pretty crazy coming from the President of the United States. Like, that's crazy. So we look and go, all right, well, what is this illiberty that Donald Trump wants to save the people from, wants the people to rise up against? This lack of liberty is the advice to stay at home, to limit the spread of COVID-19, of the coronavirus. Are there police stopping you from going out? No. Are there big jails they put you in for going out? No. Are there big guns pointed at you if you go out? No. The reason why you go out is not because the state is telling you. The reason why you don't go out is because of the virus, the pandemic. That if you go out, you have a good chance of contracting this disease and then spreading it, making it worse. So, Donald Trump is telling his people to ignore this good advice and to spread a virus, to go spread a virus. Like, I know I've said many years that Donald Trump is an enemy of the United States and that Donald Trump is working for Russia to destroy our country. I never believed it would get to this point where Donald Trump would use biological warfare to take down our country. Because a whole bunch of stupid people listened to Donald Trump and went out and spread the disease. And they'll say, oh yeah, we're protesting. No, you're not protesting, you're spreading the disease. You can call it whatever you want, but what it is spreading the disease. Call it whatever you want. Yeah, in protest we spread the disease. That's brilliant, guy. That's awesome. Oh, we have to stay home because of this disease, but I hate staying home. So, to protest staying home, I'm gonna go spread the reason why we have to stay home. Man. And then people wonder, oh, why do they call us Confederates? Why do they call us Nazis? I don't get it. I don't know why they call us Nazis. So yeah, I was like, I understand. Some of you have family members, and not everyone is at liberty to speak freely to their family members, right? Not everyone is like me. I'm very, very fortunate. I will tell you that right now. I'm extremely fortunate. I'm incredibly lucky. I have a job. I have not stopped getting paid, right? I have been getting paid ever since this thing started. Like, my job let me transition to working from home. Right? I've never lost any pay whatsoever. So for me, this has been no big deal. And I can understand. Well, what if you work in a restaurant and your job has been gone for like a month and a half? Like, and you don't have a fat savings account to be living off of. Like, yeah, what if you got a bunch of kids? Kids cost money, dude. Kids are expensive. And you haven't been working for a month. Then what? Mr. Bachelor dude who works from home? Screw you, Mr. Bachelor dude who works at home. I need to make money. Okay. I see your point. Fine. I have to be a little more understanding of people. That, yeah, not everyone is like me. Not everyone has been working. Not everyone has savings account. Not everyone is just taking care of themselves alone. A lot of people are taking care of other people. It's not just them. It's not like, I want to go to work for me. No, I want to go to work because my kids need to be fed and my disabled dad needs his medication. That's why I need to go to work. Okay. But that doesn't change the fact that you're dealing with a virus. It's not about governors who are just being a jerk to you. You're like, oh yeah, we just don't like you. That's why you can't work. No, dude. I mean, this hurts the governments as well. It's not the governments are like, oh yay, governments are not happy about this. Because how do governments get their money? They get their money through taxpayers. Taxpayers doing substantial gainful activity. You need your citizens working and producing in order to tax that production so that you have funds to play with or to do the things you need to do to take care of stuff. If you're a government and your citizens aren't working, that means you're not getting money. So yeah, governments aren't shutting down countries because they hate the people or they just for fun. They're shutting down countries. Wow, that's a great bow. All it needs is power. It's just like my bow. Wow, that's a great bow. Alright. So okay, then. So it's not that people are not that all people are leper gnomes. There are some people out there who are just dumbasses and want to spread the disease. And I hate those people. They're anti-American. And then there's those people who like really don't quite understand things maybe. And but they do understand that they need to take care of their kids and they need to take care of their elderly parents. And the government is telling them they can't work at the same time that the government is telling them, well, we can't help you either. Well, that's effed. That's effed. That's no way you can do anything. And all these other countries where they shut down the country, what happened was the government's like, all right, we're gonna pay you guys. We're gonna pay you to sit home. Like, for real, we're gonna pay you to sit home, and we're gonna make it so that nobody can collect rent on you. You don't have to pay rent this month, and nobody can turn off your utilities. Like, don't worry about utilities this month. Governments in other countries have done this. Why is it that our government doesn't provide the same support? It demands our citizens stay at home and not engage in substantial gainful activity, at the same time where it says, but you still have to maintain your obligations, as if things were no different. Man, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. That is, I understand the anger now. I can understand where some of these people are coming from. I can understand the anger from that. But then you gotta look, well then what's the problem? What's the problem? The problem is the unreasonable demand to stay at home and maintain your obligations without any support from the government. All we gotta do is look at the world and see what other countries are doing. And we go look over in France. In France, Macron, he gave an awesome speech where he told people, look, we're gonna take care of you. Yeah, this is a big deal for our country. And the government of France is gonna take care of the people. We're gonna pay you guys, and we're gonna like stop rent for this time. And already they have universal healthcare, France. So already they're taking care of their people better than what we're doing here in America. So that's an example of a government that's effective, that's working. Then we go look over in South Korea. South Korea learned about the coronavirus at the same time that the Americans learned about it. They learned the same time, except their responses were very different. South Korea immediately began to do testing for everybody so they could locate the virus and isolate it. Donald Trump's administration, when he learned about it, his goal was first to deny, then to deny more, then find ways to make money from this. He told all his rich friends, and all the senators told all their rich friends, to leave the stock market. So they did some insider trading. And then maybe they bought some stock in a testing company, I don't know. And then while they were telling the Americans, people, oh yeah, things are fine, in the back rooms they're like, sell stock, sell. Keep calm, don't worry guys, sell everything. So when it became undeniable in our country that it was going to be bad, all of a sudden they do a 180. They do a total 180 and pretend, oh yeah, we've always been worried about this. That tells me the government of the United States is totally broken. Whoever's running the United States right now is really bad. Oh, that would be Donald Trump and the Republicans. It's as if they don't care about the American people. Because so we know what they should be doing, right? Because if we look at other countries, we see, oh, the governments do two things. They shut down, they do two things. They shut down the economy and they support their citizens. Two things. What Donald Trump has done has denied, made money off of the denial, and then totally given away responsibility. He says, I don't take responsibility for anything. I'm not making decisions for anything. All the governors have to do their own thing. Donald Trump is not going to do anything. After he said that, he said, oh yeah, by the way, Donald Trump, I have all the power. I can make you do whatever I want because I am the king. That's what Donald Trump said. So at the same time where he denies responsibility, Donald Trump then says he has all the power and all the authority. That sounds like a dictator. That's a dictator. Where'd that black cat go? I gotta find that black cat. There it is. Hey, kitty. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow, meow. So Donald Trump. Yes, kitty, love me. All right, let's go. So there's that one thing. Now Donald Trump is a gangster, right? He's a mob boss. So he still wants to make money off this tragedy. Well, how does Donald Trump make money off of this? He turns it into an episode of The Apprentice. Donald Trump is not a leader. Donald Trump is a vulture. He doesn't know how to build anything. He only knows how to tear things down. So what he's doing now, what Donald Trump is doing now, is forcing the states to fight against one another. By forcing them to bid for protective gear for their people in the state. So instead of California and Oregon and Alabama all working together for the common cause of defeating the virus, what Donald Trump has done has made Oregon and Colorado our homes, our tombs. Yeah, no. What Donald Trump has done has made Oregon, California, and Alabama competitors. Instead of working together to fight the common enemy of the COVID-19, Donald Trump has made the states compete against each other, trying to get access to protective gear for their people. And if they can't get it, then their people die. And Donald Trump doesn't care. He just wants the money. That sounds like a jerk. He's not at all concerned with the way America runs. He just wants to make money. So our greatest strength, the strength of the United States, is our union. It's our ability to come together and work toward a higher goal. We have done this countless times in our history. You know, how do you think we got on the moon? Do you think we got on the moon just one state? Just by themselves? No! It took this whole country to put a man on the moon. And what an amazing accomplishment. Like unbelievable that we got on the moon. It took this whole country to get a nuclear dune buggy to do a backflip and land on Mars and drive around. It took this whole country, not just one state. Our ability to come together to work toward bigger goals and bigger ideals is part of what makes us great. Donald Trump cannot see what makes our country great. What Donald Trump does is tries to destroy our country. And look how he does it. He instead of having the states work together, he makes them fight each other. That doesn't make us stronger, that makes us weaker. Remember, Abraham Lincoln said, "A house divided cannot stand." Donald Trump tries to divide our house. So Donald Trump, what this is basically is an extension of what Donald Trump did to Ukraine. Remember, Donald Trump extorted Ukraine. He said, Ukraine, if you want this stuff from the United States, you have to do something that benefits Donald Trump. And the Democrats said, that's not fair, you cannot do that, we are impeaching you. And they did. And then the Senate Republicans said, you know what? If Donald Trump wants to take U.S. taxpayer money and use it to help Donald Trump, that's okay. The U.S. senators don't mind if Donald Trump ignores the laws written by U.S. senators and uses that money appropriated by U.S. senators for Donald Trump instead. The Republicans don't mind that. So Donald Trump is like, thanks, Republicans, so I'm going to use this against Americans now. So as you know, because the government shut down the economy, people can't be working. They can't make money, but they still have their obligations. So in other countries, what happens is the government gives support to the people to help them through this time. That's really, really recommended by the government. Okay, so in the United States, the way that took shape was small business loans. The U.S. government was going to provide support to small businesses by giving loans or stimulus to small businesses to help them out. All right, so here we go. The U.S. government coming to help the people of the states. What did Donald Trump do? Donald Trump intercepted the money like he did with Ukraine. Donald Trump intercepted the money like he did with Ukraine, and he said, hey governors, if you want this money to help your people, you have to do something for Donald Trump. If you want this money from the United States, you have to do something for Donald Trump first. How do I know this is real? Let's go look at it. Let me show you how I know it's real. How do I know this is real? Let's see. Open with Infernal view. Alright guys, let me flip over here now. Actually, let me put myself in a safe place. This is survival after all, and I could die as I jump off a building. Okay, this is safe down here, I think. That dude was wandering down here. I don't know how safe this is actually, but for the time being, let's put my back against the wall here. Alright. Okay, so check this out. Here's where you see the confirmed U.S. coronavirus cases as of this morning at 10:30 a.m. Alright, we see most of the cases are in New York. We have a lot in Washington. We have a lot in California. There's some in Texas and down here too. But really, this is where the most need is. And there's almost nothing up here because there's not very many people. All right. So that's where this is where it's hit the hardest. Is these places are where it's hit the hardest. Okay. Now let's look at that small business loans, the support from the government. This is from this is from a Bloomberg news article, and this is telling us small business rescue shows not all states are created equal. During the first 13 days of the federal government's small business rescue program, the spigot was wide open in Nebraska. Firms there got enough money to cover 82% of the state's eligible payrolls. It was a different picture in New York and California, where companies did only half as well. So let's look. Even though California, Washington, and New York got hit the hardest by the coronavirus, where did the small business loans go to? The Midwest, where they got hit the least. Wait, but these guys are also governors that are very, very pro-Trump. How funny! How weird! It's like Donald Trump is extorting the governors of liberal states. Wow. Wow. So the same thing he did to Ukraine, Donald Trump is now doing to American citizens, with the blessing of Republican senators, because Republican senators acquitted Donald of this crime. Therefore, Republican senators are okay with Donald Trump's behavior. If Donald Trump wants to extort American citizens, Republican senators are okay with it. That begs the question, whose team are Republican senators on? Are they on the team of Americans, or are they on the team of Confederate Nazis? Well, it's this guy's opinion that Republicans are on the team of Confederate Nazis. They don't actually care about Americans. What they care about are Nazis, fascists, and Confederates, white supremacists. That's who they care about, because those are the only people being served by this policy promoted by Republicans and Donald Trump. Remember, Nazi Confederates are okay, have no problem with attacking Americans, because to Nazi Confederates, Americans are the enemies. So remember, Nazi Confederates okay with hurting Americans. Americans are not okay with hurting Americans. So Donald Trump's policies that help Nazi Confederates and hurt Americans pretty much tell you whose team Donald Trump is on. So Donald Trump is actively thwarting the federal government from helping Americans by stealing the money, the aid that was supposed to help these people who have to be on lockdown, who are not making money, who are having a hard time meeting their obligations to take care of their loved ones. Because that's what it comes down to. A lot of these people aren't wanting to go back to work because they're greedy. They want to go back to work because they have obligations of weaker people that depend on them, and they need to take care of their people. I understand that. I can understand that. So my anger is not directed at these people who have obligations trying to take care of people weaker than themselves. My anger is toward the criminals who are stopping the federal government from meeting its obligation to help American citizens. That's what we were designed to do, to come together and help one another, not compete against each other. So let me give you an example of a Nazi Confederate. I think this is the anniversary, 25, I don't know how many years, of the Oklahoma City bombing, where Timothy McVeigh fucking blew up a massive bomb in front of a Social Security building in Oklahoma City. Let's look at this for a minute. Okay, why is there a gigantic ass government building in Oklahoma City? Well, I can go look over at my work, right? My office is located in probably, in one of the more economically distressed areas of my town. The state government purposely chose to put a state office in an economically depressed area of town. Why would they choose to do that? Well, us state employees, we get paid by the government. And then, with that money, we then, we're not always in the building. We go out into the community around the building. And when we go out into the community around the building, we spend money in this economically distressed area. And this helps the economically distressed area make money and survive economically. So in a way, it's a way of subsidizing. The government subsidizes the neighborhood by placing its buildings in areas that don't have a lot of money. They do that on purpose to help out the area, the business owners around the area, and the homeowners, and because it increases the land, it increases the value of everything. When you get money flowing, it helps everyone. Yeah. Not moving doesn't help anyone. Money is like blood. It's only good when it's moving. Hey, that might be a slime chunk. If that's a slime chunk, I would be very happy, because it's already cleared out. But I'll have to watch it. That'd be good. Potential slime chunk. Okay. Yeah, let's dump the rest of this out. So, look over in Oklahoma City. I don't believe Oklahoma is a massive powerhouse of a state, economically speaking. I don't think Oklahoma City is like Silicon Valley. Like, I don't think Oklahoma City or Oklahoma is Kansas, right? Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, maybe. I hope. Oh no, dude, that would be bad. Let me double check. That's so awful. Where is Oklahoma City? Yeah, Oklahoma. All right. I wanted to make sure. Okay, Oklahoma City isn't Oklahoma. Okay. Oklahoma City is probably not an economic power. Oklahoma is probably not an economic powerhouse like California. So it makes sense that the government would put a big government building in a country, in a state that wasn't getting a whole lot of economic strength, right? It's a way of subsidizing that state. Because remember, the federal government is all about strengthening the union. All of us, not just one state, not just one group of people, but all Americans. And so you put the help where you need it. Okay, now remember, Nazi Confederates have a different idea. Nazi Confederates, the way they see it, is that there's only one group of people you should help. That's white people. And it's not even all white people. That's the funny thing, right? Nazi Confederates, by virtue of the way they think and their hierarchy, because they have a hierarchy, they're really concerned with rich white people. They want to help the rich white people. And if poor white people get helped incidentally, that's incidental. The main focus is on helping rich white people. That's the number one concern of Nazi Confederates. And it makes people wonder, why would poor Nazi Confederates help rich Nazi Confederates to oppress them? Why would they do that? Because they get tricked. Poor Nazi Confederates get tricked. They get tricked, and they get raised in an environment where they can never find out the truth on purpose. Because remember, the number one enemy of a Nazi is the truth. So the Nazi Confederate system is designed to obscure the truth from people. It doesn't want people to see the truth. Because if you see the truth, then you start questioning things. Like, why are we this way? And why should poor Nazi Confederates support a system that doesn't help other poor Nazi Confederates? Like, let alone it doesn't help Americans. I mean, come on, be an American. Help Americans. Let's all be American. So Timothy McVeigh is part of this Nazi Confederate group. He was a poor Nazi Confederate in service of other rich to rich Nazi Confederates. So to Nazi Confederates, they do not like at all this idea of Americans, the American Union, helping out, making the Union stronger, helping other Americans out. They don't like this. They do not like it. Anything that helps out regular Americans, Nazi Confederates hate. And Social Security is an example of something that helps out regular Americans. I told you that money is like blood. It's only good when it's moving. So what Social Security is, in a way, is it's very, very limited wealth redistribution. It takes money from the top and puts it back down to the bottom. So money at the top isn't moving. It doesn't move. It just sits there. That's wealth concentration. But when you inject the money to the bottom, I'm sorry guys, rich people do not sit on money. Or poor people, I'm sorry. Poor people do not sit on money. Poor people can't sit on money. They cannot. As soon as poor people get money, they spend it. They don't spend it on stupid BS like PlayStations or phones or whatever. Poor people spend money on food, on daycare, on medicine, on rent, on transportation. on debt, on student loans. So when poor people get money, it's not like they take the money and they slow it down and they freeze it. Nah, dude. Poor people, they add speed to money. They give life to money. They're like, boom, I got money. Boom, gone. Keep moving, money. Go fast. Go fast. Keep moving. Where does that money go? It goes to the small business owner. That small business owner, because, that's the guy who's in their neighborhood. So, of course, the poor person's going to spend their money as soon as they get it. And where do they spend it? They spend it on the local shop. So their small business owner, gets that money. Do they sit on that money? Hell no. They got bills to pay. They got inventory to keep. They got rent, mortgages to pay. They got loans to pay. They got stuff to pay. They got people to pay. That money, boom, boom, gone. Velocity added to their money. That money is speeding along super quick. Where does that money go? It goes to the worker who's stocking the shelves. Where does that money go? It goes to the truck driver making the deliveries. So yeah, you want that money to speed along. You want that velocity. You want it to keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Because every time that money keeps moving, it's adding velocity to the economy. Oh, but once it hits the hands of a banker, of a rich person, that rich person catches it, puts it in a little bundle and tucks it away, and it doesn't move anymore. It stops moving. And they just keep getting more of it, right? The rich keep getting richer in American society, the way it's designed right now. Because that's what Nazi Confederates want. Nazi Confederates want to concentrate wealth. So yeah, they're all about catching that money by the rich people and storing it away. So anything that adds velocity to money, anything that makes money move faster and keep changing hands, is bad for Nazi Confederates. And Social Security is something that does that. It helps keep money moving. So it makes sense Timothy McVeigh would want to help his masters to stop this, to stop Social Security. So he engaged in an act of terrorism by killing a ton of children, because they're Nazi Confederates. They kill children, right? Nazis kill children. So Timothy McVeigh killed a whole bunch of children to stop poor people from getting money, to preserve a system, a way of life. Yeah, you want to know why I do what I do? Timothy McVeigh and those kids, that's one of the reasons, yeah. Because I fucking hate Nazis. Pardon my language. I just want to turn this on here. Settings, sound. Sound audio. 25. Okay. All right. So Timothy McVeigh, fucking act of terrorism, blew up a building of kids to help rich people maintain control of a system. That's what we're fighting, guys. I mean, we've been fighting Nazis since the beginning. Since the beginning, this country has always been divided by two different ideas, a way of how this country should be. One group of people wanted to make a union of people working together for freedom and justice. Another group of people wanted to create a system to perpetuate the system they left in Europe. Of wealth concentration and white supremacy. It's never been resolved. It's never been resolved. The Civil War never ended.
But I think what everybody wants to hear is the way that he rips up those Star Trek records. That's some crazy shit that he does. It's total crazy. And I think we're gonna hear that now.
All right, let's see. Where else am I going here? All right. How long have I been going? I've been going. 44 minutes. All right. So we're not just dealing with a bunch of like things that we've already finished. They're not ghosts, right? They're here. They haven't left us. All right.
Gary Canoe. Gary Canoe. Gary Canoe. Gary Canoe.
On the great space coast.
Shut up, Ricky. Just shut up right now. Unless the next words out of your mouth are directions how to get back to the fish skeleton, I'm gonna punch you right in the stomach.
All right. So Americans, we're hanging out, guys, right? We're all hanging out at home to protect one another, not because of an ideology, not because of whatever, but because we love each other. We want to take care of each other. We want to protect each other. We don't want each other to suffer. Because we're all one. We're all the same. Not the same, but we're one. So when you suffer, I suffer. And when you do good, I do good. So we just got done with the election, with the primaries, Democratic primaries. It looks like Joe Biden is going to get the nomination. Everyone endorsed him. Elizabeth Warren endorsed him. Bernie Sanders endorsed him. Barack Obama endorsed him. So we got the liberals, we got the progressives. I'm pretty sure all the moderates already endorsed Biden. Like, I think everyone's on board with Biden. Now, there are some problems I heard about some sexual harassment by Biden in the past. And I do not know enough about that to really say much of anything. Other than, like, I saw some tweets from the woman making these claims, and in these tweets, the woman was supporting Putin and Russia. So I'm like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, sure, I want to believe women, but then, like, I was like, man, in the middle of an information war, you do that? Come on. So yeah, there's no way Biden should get away with that if it really happened. But then again, like, credibility is hard to assess. But in any case, Joe Biden is going to be the Democratic nominee. And the question now is, well, can Joe Biden get enough support? And, like, I've given this talk before, but I think it's time to reiterate it because it's that time again, right? People are grumbling, oh, I don't want to vote vote for Joe Biden. I don't know. Maybe both sides are the same. I don't know. Well, okay. First of all, we know both sides are not the same already. We already know that. We already know that. It's pretty obvious by this point that both sides are not the same. Like, they can't be made any more clear that both sides are not the same. That one side is obviously a lot more accountable than the other side. Okay, and then, but remember, look at the way that, okay, so the United States, our political system is freaking old. I mean, what I mean is that it's like a alpha version of democracy. When the founders of the United States wrote the document, our founding documents, they were doing so at a time when there was nowhere else on earth was there another democracy that they could look at. They're doing it pretty much for the first time on their own. So, yeah. So their version of democracy is, so our version of democracy is a little bit antiquated, a little bit old. Let's look how it was what inspired it. I always look back to the ancient Greeks as what inspired democracy. Now, we're different than the ancient Greece had direct democracy, and the United States is a democratic republic. So it's not exactly the same form of democracy, but even in ancient Greece, even with their direct democracy, it really wasn't direct democracy, because in order to vote, you had to be landowning. You had to not be a slave, and you had to be a male. I think you had to be male, and you had to own land. So if you didn't have that, then you couldn't vote, and you didn't have a say. So it really, like, they say it was direct democracy, but I don't know. I guess they didn't elect representatives; they went themselves. Okay, but nevertheless, so I guess you could say that they also the founders took a lot from Roman Republic too, because I mean the Roman Republic was a republic. They elected senators, and I guess you could go through, if I were a better scholar, I could have, or if I were prepared for it, I could go through the Federalist Papers where our founding fathers went through a public discussion over the merits of how much you wanted to be a republic and how much you wanted to be a democracy. That's why there's a blended. I mean, I think the House of Representatives is a compromise, so that if you wanted to go full republic, you'd only have the Senate. But Americans, our founding fathers, wanted that element of democracy still in, which is what the House of Representatives is for. But I want to say that our system was inspired to a large degree by the ancient Greeks. Now, the ancient Greeks, they're great. And one of the things they had, I mean, the way culture works is that whatever you do is gonna impact and reflect on anything else you do. So the way you make art reflects on the way you produce things. You make the way you do agriculture, I guess. It reflects on that, and the way you do agriculture reflects on your art and your the way you do warfare too. How you do warfare is a reflection of your society's values. So, in the ancient old Greece, like before Homer, actually during the time of Homer, you can look at how they did warfare. And the ancient Greeks of Homer, the way they did warfare was a lot of like single combat, right? They had individual warriors engaged in single combat and giving big speeches to inspire or to strike fear in the heart of their enemies. Right, and and we can see this reflected in the Homeric epics, you know, the Odyssey and the Iliad. Like they have one-on-one combat. They have one-on-one combat. That like it's amazing. Right. But later on, you know, when they leave the Greek Dark Ages and come into like, well, the classic period after Homer, the style of warfare that the Greeks did was with hoplites. Now, what's a hoplite? A hoplite is a type of warrior. I can do infrared view for this. Where's my hoplite? Hoplites. All right, infrared view. That is a hoplite. That's a hoplite. So a hoplite is basically a soldier. Here, how can I do this? Fit this better? Yeah, there we go. So this hoplite here is what the Greek soldier was about. The hoplite was not a professional soldier. The hoplite didn't do this all the time. Right? It was a role that a citizen in the country did. So they didn't have ancient Greece did not have a standing army like we have today, a standing army. They didn't have a standing army. Standing armies are expensive. Having a whole bunch of men standing around doing nothing productive, and you have to feed them and house them. Yeah, that's expensive. Like a bunch of men standing around, not doing anything productive, training for warfare, and that's it. Yeah, that's hard to maintain for an agrarian society. So they didn't have a standing army. What they did is, like, every once in a while they would, you know, when they needed a fight, when they needed to go to war, they would call citizens up from their jobs, and all the citizens would, during the summertime, because they couldn't do this all year. No way. Everyone had to go back to work. So they would all get together during one summer and be a group called hoplites. These guys. Now these hoplites, the way they fought, it wasn't like the old days, the old ancient Greek days in the Dark Ages, when it was individual warriors on one-on-one combat. Instead, it was a whole bunch of these citizens getting together and making a block. They make a big ass block, and they use their big shields to protect them, but also to protect the guy next to them. So their shield, and they all stand together to lock shields. So they have a gigantic wall of shields, and your shield protects the guy next to you. It protects you a little bit, but only half of you. It's supposed to protect the guy next to you. And then the guy to your right is also holding a shield, and his shield is protecting the part of you that you can't protect. So the guy next to you protects you and him, and you protect you and the guy next to you. And you guys are not professional soldiers. You're regular people who put down your jobs to come to fight this war. And then behind you, there are guys with spears, right, over their shoulder. And so you have a spear coming over your shoulder. So you've got your shield, and then there's a spear coming from behind you to attack. So you're protecting the guy behind you, the guy next to you. And the guy to this side is protecting you and the guy behind him. So the deal was, as long as you maintain this formation, you were safe. You're protected. You have protection. And when these Greek battles took place, they took place in a valley, in a narrow valley, so with high walls on either side. That means you couldn't ride horses around them and attack the backside where everyone's not defended. You know, you need to everyone focus forward this direction to go that way, and everyone's moving in the same direction. And you had the wall, so no one could flank you. You're all moving this direction. And that's what they did. They went to war like that. And then when your shields clash, because the other side's doing the same thing, right? So you have these two phalanxes, and they come up and they crash against each other, and they start pushing. They're not pushing like to make your people fall over, but they're pushing into the other formation, hoping to push them back and make them break up and fall apart and make them run away. Because the biggest fear or the biggest dishonor in ancient Greece was to be a person, I forgot the name of it, but you would throw away your shield and run away. Well, if you throw away your shield, you can't protect the guy next to you. You can't protect the guy behind you. If you throw away your shield, you're useless. You're not protecting anyone. You've broken ranks. You've destroyed the formation, and the other team ran over us. You're dishonored. That's horrible. Yeah, so you don't want to be a person who throws away their shield and runs away. Don't be that guy. So these guys in ancient Greece would go to war and fight like this. Well, let's look at our founding fathers. They're looking to the ancients for inspiration to write the very, very, very first democracy on the planet in modern times. They have no one else to look towards but the ancients. And they see this, I don't know if they looked at the form of battle, but our political system in the United States looks a whole lot like phalanx combat, where we get two sides fighting against each other. The way our system works is it's first past the post. What that means is whoever gets 50% plus 1 of the votes wins all the votes. We don't have proportional representation like other countries, where if you get 40% of the votes, you get 40% of the seats. No, we don't do that. If you get 49% of the vote and the other guy gets 51% of the votes, they get 100% of the seats. That's how the United States does it. So, let's look at the way we conduct combat, right? In the beginning, or not voting, right? We had our primaries. We've already selected our captain, who's going to be Joe Biden. Now it does us. Now it's stuck. If you don't vote for Joe Biden and you vote for third party, at this point, it doesn't help. Like, what you're doing is you're helping the other side, because you're not creating a unified front. So when you have your phalanx formation, if you have one guy who's saying, no, I don't want to do this, I'm not going to vote for you, I'm not going to hold up my shield and protect the guy over here, I'm not going to do it, I wanted that guy to be the captain. Well, you're no good. You're making the whole formation. And when we clash, because of the weakness, the phalanx is only as strong as its weakest member. Because wherever it buckles, the whole thing buckles. So by introducing a weak link, you're not helping the Democrats, you're not helping your cause, you're helping the fascists.
They set out to destroy.
Fascists don't like democracy to begin with. They will do anything to thwart democracy. And by not, I mean, I understand Joe Biden has got things to answer for, and believe me, he will answer for them. But now is not the time to do it. And I get it, right? I mean, like, a lot of people are saying, well, no, like, you gotta answer for, we're not, our support is not unconditional. We're not just gonna vote for you just because you're the candidate. Okay, fine. Yes, let's address all these issues. Let's address them. But we have to put up a unified front, because if the Nazis win another election, we're done for. If the Republicans win the 2020 elections, the United States is over. We're gonna fall. We're gonna break into pieces, and that's exactly what Putin wanted, right? He got it to do. He got the UK to break apart. Now he's trying to get the EU to break apart. He would love it if the United States broke apart, and Donald Trump is his tool to make this happen. So if Donald Trump gets another election, dude, we're in trouble. Think of it as phalanx combat. We're not. It's phalanx combat. Phalanx formation. All right. I think that's good for now. Is that an hour? Oh, I had this guy up forever, dude. Go away. Okay. Yeah, dude, I've been going for an hour. So, okay, America, thanks for hanging out. I will catch you on the flip side. Hang in there, dudes. Hang in there. We need this great big push, and once we get this great big push over, then we'll have control of the federal government. We can start fixing things and implement all these great measures that we all have. Yeah, we have these amazing ideas. We have all these awesome ideas to help Americans. We just need to defeat these Nazis who are stopping us and tricking other Americans, fooling them. All right, until next time. Peace. Pogo Kiddo out.